to have you guys here. My name is Christine Dwyer, and we are here at Group Fitness Live. And what we wanted to do is start to kind of share our instructors, get to know them, but also ask them the tough questions. So the tough questions about working out at home and how does it compare to working out at the gym? Can you actually get a really good workout at home, or is this just kind of holding us until we can release and go back into the gyms? A lot of questions I want to ask Judy. She's one of our instructors, our brand ambassador instructors over here at Group Fitness Live. And if you're not familiar with what we offer, we collaborate with instructors from across the country and allow them to all come into one place to stream workouts, because there's a lot of people who want their favorite instructor, but they can't access them as much anymore because they're either not teaching at the gym or they're not teaching as much at the gym. So many instructors have moved online and are teaching virtually, whether that's on Zoom or just even a social media, Facebook Live or whatever. But what we did is we wanted to make it on a schedule, because if nothing's on a schedule, then people won't be able to know what's happening. They can't just wait for an impromptu live to go up. So we've collaborated. We've got over 15 instructors teaching on Group Fitness Live, and Judy's one of them. And we wanted to ask her the tough questions. So welcome, Judy Cox. She's here from Georgia. I'm over in Texas, and we want to ask you any questions that you might be able to offer home workout people, as well as others who are considering working out at home or joining Group Fitness Live, some questions. So how are you today, Judy?
I am doing great. Thank you. I'm so glad to be here. So honored to be a part of this great group of instructors, and excited to share all of our love for fitness with a lot of our watchers.
Yeah, so just to kind of give some background on yourself, and then I'm going to go into some questions of why did you want to be a part of this gang, and why did you want to teach virtual? So let's kind of first get to know you a little bit. Why don't you share a little bit about your background as a group fitness instructor? Also share that you worked as a presenter, master trainer for Chalene Johnson, which all that stuff I want to make sure you talk about. And that's how we met. That's how Judy and I first met. I was actually her boss.
Yes, absolutely. I've always been a part of fitness. Growing up, I have a cheer and dance background. I cheered all through high school, and then I cheered and danced in college. And then from there, I went on to be a professional cheerleader for the Atlanta Falcons. And then from there, I was very fortunate enough to hear about Turbo Kick with Chalene Johnson and PiYo and Christine Dwyer. So auditioned and was so grateful enough to become a master trainer for that awesome group of people. Not only are you fantastic instructors, but you're good people. So honored to be a part of all of that. So, and then I've gone on to really share my passion. This is what I do for a living. I am a personal trainer full-time in a few gyms and in people's homes, and I teach group fitness. So this is my form of living. This is how I make my living, and believe in exercise since I've done it from a young age up to my 50s. It's what keeps us strong, what keeps us stable, mental. I think it all plays a big part of our mental and overall health.
Yeah. So why then did you feel, or give me more background basically on, if this is all you're doing, are you feeling any of the impact that, with this pandemic, has it kind of cut into your ability to expand as a fitness professional? Are you limited? Are you still kind of making the same amount that you used to prior to working with Group Fitness Live?
It has impacted somewhat with maybe some of my people who maybe have some underlying conditions, that I go to their homes or I do Zoom with them. They do watch the Group Fitness Live and try to get our workouts. And I just try to explain to them that, you can modify any of the workouts that we do, whether it's your workout or my workout, whatever instructors are doing the workout. You don't have to have weights. You can use whatever you want in your home. Beans, you can use soup, you can use whatever you have that's in your home. We don't expect you to go out and buy a lot of expensive equipment. We can make it work for you, and you're in the comfort of your own home. So for sure, it has impacted somewhat, but I feel like there's room for both. I feel like that being virtual is a great place for someone to to get off their couch and get started with this.
Yeah. Have you had conversations with some of the people that have trained with you in person to now where you're training them virtually? What has been their feedback with you to the difference of training with you virtually compared to in person? Obviously, there is a huge difference, you know, because of course you can't physically be there and correct them in person, but you now have changed to working out with them. Are they appreciative that they still have this opportunity, or are they just kind of holding out and waiting for the times that they can get back into a real life person? What's been their experience?
You know, it's funny, Christine, they started out that way. They started out saying, okay, this is just the meantime. But now that they have gotten this and we're in their own home, they've kind of gotten to where they really like it, and they can either do it live with us or they can do it on their own time, which is really, really a big, you know, it's a big asset for our watchers and for our viewers and for people who really want to stay in the know of the latest and the greatest workouts, you know, the latest things that I think we can bring to the table. So I think it did start out maybe as, okay, we're going to start here, but now I think a lot of them are really starting to embrace the virtual.
Yeah, really, many people who've had a resistance to at-home videos, whether that is live or recorded, or, you know, professionally produced, there has been a change for many people. What I've seen, the gym goers, where they didn't expect that they'd actually like it or that they could get a good enough workout, but this opened up a new viewpoint for them in terms of ease and flexibility, and still staying a lot more consistent to their workout and their program because of that ease and flexibility to just plug in and be present and not have to worry about matching your workout clothes together, you know?
That's exactly right. And they can take us on vacation, you know?
Yeah.
They can, if they're traveling, they're like, okay, we can still do our workout. And I guilt them. I'm like, just because you're on vacation doesn't mean you get to skip. We're there.
Yep.
So let's do it. Yeah, exactly.
So what is your experience and how do you feel then with the difference between teaching live? Because again, as a group fitness instructor, as well as, again, you've had that experience of being a professional, where when she was a presenter working for Chalene, she was that person that would certify people in workouts. So coming from someone where we're fed off of energy, a room packed full of people hooting and hollering, coming from your experience as a group fitness instructor, teaching in person to now transferring it online, it sure is probably a difficult transition, but what has been your experience with your mindset and how to adapt and adopt being virtual now?
Sure. Well, I feel like life is being able to adapt, you know, and I was always that I'm a hugger. I like to touch my people and hug them and high five them, and, you know, lots of energy in the room, and, you know, get so excited when people are excited to be there and the room is full. But guess what? This happens. We have no control over it. So we all learn to adapt. And, you know, you talk them through it. We talk each other through it. We're each other's teammates. We have to realize that we've got to adapt with the time. So honestly, it was a shift for me, honestly. But now I'm really enjoying the fact. And when I'm hearing out in public, or people who shoot me a text or what have you, say, hey, I watched your class today. Thank you for doing, they appreciate it. They really appreciate the fact that we're putting our timing effort into them still being at home. We haven't forgotten them.
Yeah.
So the transition was definitely tough, but now I'm really embracing it.
What I found is, especially because, again, we've taught predominantly all of our careers in person, that moving to a virtual space is a new challenge to you as an instructor, because now you have to reach out through a camera lens to actually feel like you're in home with that person, that they feel your energy right in their space, that it challenges you as an instructor to up your game and to get out of your old habits and improve your skills as an instructor with cueing and timing of cueing and music utilization. Have you found that? Because that's what I found.
Oh, 100%, 100%. Yes, yes. And as I said, you know, you're used to comments here and there, you're doing okay. And, you know, it's not there anymore. So absolutely. We're all having to adapt. Absolutely. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So why did you decide to collaborate with Group Fitness Live to teach on a platform that has a bunch of other instructors teaching, rather than just go out on your own and create your own little private website or Facebook group and to charge people to come and take your classes? What was the reason why you chose Group Fitness Live, but also what's been the benefit to doing that?
Well, when I chose Group Fitness Live, it was because I wanted to align myself with the best. And being that I've worked under you, Chalene, before, I knew y'all are at the top of your game. You would be the best. The quality would be the best. Everything, the music, the rights, all of it. So there was no question. As soon as you and I were communicating, I was like, again, honored. And I say that and I mean that. There was no question. As soon as I heard Group Fitness Live, and it is exactly as I thought it would be. I'm learning every day from you on the technology side of it. And, as far as just, upping my game as far as the virtual side goes.
Yeah. Now that is something of a good point, because when Holly Heyerman, so Holly Heyerman is my 50% other half of the co-owners for Group Fitness Live. Her and I, just to give you guys some background, with Chalene Johnson's company, Powder Blue Production. Chalene Johnson is a fitness celebrity, but she started her space in fitness industry by having a certification company and a clothing line and all of that. So for that company, Holly was the vice president and I was the national promotions director. So in essence, Holly and myself were Chalene's right and left hand to the company. So when we decided to put together Group Fitness Live and bring together instructors, our initial goal was to bring kind of the best together, because we know with the training that a lot of the presenters that have worked for Chalene Johnson, we know exactly where that instructor started from and where they grew into a professional, that we really needed instructors who knew how to actually communicate and connect virtually and in person with others. We needed instructors that were not divas or showboaty people where it's just for them. And that's the reason why Holly and I decided that our primary instructors we were going to ask to be a part of this are going to be a lot of the previous presenters working for Chalene Johnson, because of that level of professionalism. Like, that was really important for us. And that is one of the reasons we chose Judy. Now, with you teaching online, what has been, I guess, the biggest struggle for you with, and you've said it before, I just kind of want, everyone to kind of figure out, what, it is a little bit of a challenge, but what has been your biggest struggle with teaching online?
I think it is the learning, honestly, the technology for me, because I've always been, in the studios or wherever, the gyms, wherever we're teaching. The hardest part for me is the technology itself, is learning the technology. I think once I have that, then woohoo.
Yeah. One of the biggest benefits is that even though, technology is always something brand new, especially coming from a fitness instructor, that's usually not their wheelhouse, because they don't need to be. They go into a gym, a stereo, they got a mic system, and as long as those two things work, we're good. But now when you take it virtually, when I'm doing a comparison of, say, for instance, you are going to teach on Zoom and do your own thing, or if you are collaborating with Group Fitness Live, there's kind of two different animals, because we wanted it to be as simple as possible for anyone to teach on Group Fitness Live. So we didn't want to require any expensive equipment or any of that stuff. So with the technology hurdle, just to kind of speak from experience with working with Judy to get her up and running, it's mostly just by using something new, using an app and understanding which button to push and how to set the angle of the camera. So there's no like extra technology or special encoders, and if those instructors who are paying attention know what I'm talking about, none of that stuff, because we wanted to make it as super simple but as highest quality as possible. And everyone's at a different learning curve. My background is I do focus a lot on social media and marketing and presentation, but Judy hasn't, and I only know that because I follow her. So it's just
Thank God you do. Thank God you do, Christine.
Totally. Let me ask you this. What would you say to someone who has never taken any group fitness class? So they don't have experience of being in the gym or taking any group fitness class. What would you say to them of why, or what would they get out of doing this? How would this benefit them? Why would they like it?
Well, first of all, again, top quality instructors, just bar none. They know what they're doing. They know the correct form. They know what they're doing. They get up. They know how to cue. They know the music. They know that, the downbeat, the upbeat. And second of all, I think it is, what do they have to lose? They're in the comfort of their own home. Nobody's watching. Nobody's judging. They can turn it off. They can turn it on as they feel comfortable. They can find their favorite instructors. They can kind of play around with it, find their favorite class. So they have nothing to lose. Absolutely nothing to lose.
Yeah. Have you ever had that experience where when you went into a gym, whether it's a visiting gym or just another instructor's class, have you ever gone into a gym, you read the schedule and you're trying to pick out which class you want to do and you kind of go into one that you've never done before and you get into the room and you're in the middle of the class and then you decide, oh my gosh, I don't like this class. I want to get out. But you kind of have to stay because you don't want to walk out because then the instructor feels it. So how does that kind of help someone now in that live experience to a virtual experience? What if they want to try a class and it's not up their alley? What would you say to someone now, the reason or benefit that with Group Fitness Live, they've got a difference of a benefit now that if they try something, it may not be their thing, but what could they do next?
Well, I mean, they can turn it off if they're not live, but here's my thing, right? I mean, honestly, they can't, but they can try the next class, they can try the next class. They don't have to walk out of that classroom and hurt anyone's feelings. They just say that class is not for me. And that's the beauty of virtual classes. You can figure it out. And again, you're at home, so you're not going to hurt anyone's feelings.
Yeah. That's a perfect point because you can try a class that you've never done before and discover, oh my gosh, I love this. I never did it in the gym because I didn't want to go in and stumble through when all the front row divas know the choreography. You can
That is exactly right. Yeah. And I had it a lot here, where you have your front row Barbies and, but as an instructor, you got to think of that back line just as much as you do that front line. And I think that makes a good instructor. You're thinking of the whole room. You're working your whole room. So yeah, you're right.
Okay. So let me see what other questions I could ask you. So how similar then is a virtual class? So let's start with the similar. What's the biggest same feeling, the similarity of a live class to a virtual class?
Well, I just feel like, to be honest with you, I treat it the same. I treat it the same as if my people were right there in front of me. I'm still going to have that energy. I'm still going to give the same cues. The only thing I can't do is give the hugs, but I feel like it's the same, and again, that's why I wanted to be a part of Group Fitness Live, because I feel like all the instructors share that.
Yeah. What has been some of the biggest differences then with taking a live class? And these might be obvious answers, but what's the difference for the participant with taking a live class as opposed to now doing that same live PiYo class, but virtually?
Maybe just for those who enjoyed having their peers beside them, they're just having that instructor to say, come on, you can do it. Come on, you can do it. 2 more minutes or 1 more time or whatever it is, besides having their friend beside them saying, come on, we got this, we got this.
Yeah. What would you say to someone then who is trying to kind of move through their fitness programs, and how would you suggest they set up starting a workout program, or what should they do first when they are getting into working out virtually? And this doesn't have to be specifically on Group Fitness Live, but just in your professional experience and suggestion. What do you suggest to someone who's just kind of getting into fitness, and how should they start?
Well, I always suggest to someone to, to start slow, obviously. I feel like if someone jumps ahead and they're taking a class that maybe might really be out of their wheelhouse, that might be a little too tough, I never suggest that, because I feel like you're making them step back a couple of, so I always feel like take it slow. Again, look at the classes, find out what's going to fit for you. Are you wanting cardio? Do you want a lot of jumping, or do you want strength training, or do you want to stretch? You've got to find out what's going to fit them first. And I think age, and I think joints, I think a lot of it has plays a part in what direction I'm going to put them in, and age, and appropriate, because maybe my 18-year-old's not going to want to do the same thing as my 58-year-old,
Oh, yeah.
So I always and start slow. And with our classes, maybe I'm able to recommend, maybe start with this class and then move on to this class. So that you can help like step ladder up.
Have you noticed that your own workout style has changed with doing at home compared to working out in the gym?
For sure. Yeah. I'm used to, in the gym, I obviously got down with my participants in my class and high fives and things like that. And now I just know I kind of got to be still. I've got a small stay, so I stay in the camera. So that for sure has changed. Yeah.
Yeah. So what would be your final tip and advice for someone, and why should they even try Group Fitness Live? Why should they even do the free week? Why should they come?
It's free.
What?
Oh my gosh, y'all, it's free. And you've got the best instructors all over the country. People that know what they're doing, their certifications, it can go on and on. They know what they're doing. I mean, what have you got to lose? What have you got to lose? Everybody's got 30 minutes, right? Come try for 30 minutes.
Yeah, and you get a free week anyway, so you might as well try it out. Well, we're excited to have you with us on Group Fitness Live, and we're really appreciative. I'm so glad that I saw your post come up on Facebook. I was like, Judy, I should ask Judy to be a part of that.
Yes, perfect. Thank you. I'm so glad too.
Well, guys, you can find Judy's page and get more information about her. All you do is go to groupfitnesslive.com and you can click on instructors and you can see Judy. But if you just want to go directly to her page is groupfitnesslive.com/Judy Cox, and it's COX. And you can find out more about her bio's there, but also that's where you can get a 10% discount if you do decide to join Group Fitness Live using Judy's code. And your code is Judy10, is that right or no?
Judy Cox 10.
Judy Cox 10. Okay. And if you just go on her page, you can just sign up with Judy Cox 10 and get 10% off, but also you can get the free week there too. So I'm so glad to chat with you. Thanks so much for spending some time with me.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
All right. Well, thanks, everybody. Bye.